So are we good, Tony? Sorry, Sam.
No.
Are you good? Oh, in terms of your
we're all set.
We're all set. We actually have contracts in hand for you to sign, which is exciting.
This is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting. Did you have fun dealing with the SiriusXM personnel for the last month or so?
I don't know if fun is the best word, but it's no. They you know what? This month is when it really everyone got very active, and everyone was working hard to get it done.
And they've got other stuff they're doing too. I mean, their lawyers do everybody, and there's hundreds of people working here.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad we got it done.
Yeah, but I mean, it was an important deal for them. I mean, like everyone was working really hard. I mean, everyone, So I mean, it got all the way to Jim Meyer and Scott Greenstein, Andrew Moss, and then of course Gary.
Wait, is that a bad
Schoenwetter.
Is that a bad sign when your agent doesn't know the names of the people at the company?
Drew. Which one is
Jerry
Drew?
Greenstein and Scott Meyer.
We were talking to so many different people about this deal, but everyone was working very hard and very active to get it done.
Were they weirded out when I said that from now on they're call me Mr. Norton? I would like a little respect around here. I'm tired of this.
That actually they actually had cut that out.
That red line?
Yeah, they got red lined out actually.
Couldn't win that battle.
Yeah, but when you go down the hall and talk to them, like, all right, it's never pleasant negotiating. But when you're like, look, this is what we want to kind of get done, they're always, all right, yeah, we want to get it done too. It's easier just to keep it friendly and not be so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean,
well, they want us here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their job. We're doing our job, and then everything's a compromise. But you guys got a really great deal, and everyone's excited to have you for three more years.
That's the big announcement.
3
years. We
Which
signed this deal. The first contract was 2 years. We're signing today for 3 years here at Sirius, which I'm excited about.
I am too. I 1 year is great, but I can't live year to year. I just can't do it. It's too panic stricken. 6 months out, you're already like, all right, fuck, we got 6 months to start. Just do 3 years.
Yeah, you do. There is this feeling of like, we'll be all right. We got 3 years.
Yeah.
To figure it all out, right? We have 3 years to figure out whatever we have to do in 3 years. We have 3 years to figure that out.
I think you guys have already figured it out. You guys are doing a great job, but it goes quick.
It does go quick.
Yeah, the 2 years went really fast, and then you start. I like to know I have a gig. Like I love this gig, and you like to know you have a place that you're going to pay your mortgage,
yes,
and your shit's going to get done.
Right.
It's I forget like just being a stand-up. You don't have a regular gig.
Of course,
you don't have a regular check.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also have a whole group of people that work with you, I'm sure. So it's nice to know they've got some stability too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what is with Travis? When is your deal up? Like, how long are you here for?
Deal?
I mean, how long?
I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not.
No,
I mean,
meaning how long are you? You're an employee, so you don't go.
Yeah.
Travis's 15-year contract is almost up, so we'll have to renegotiate that soon.
But they don't renew you every so often.
No, I'm just an employee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At will.
At will.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I work for the company at their pleasure.
But what, like, how many years is the deal up where they have to give raises or whatever?
It's just, have you ever worked anywhere?
But it's been many years. It's been many years since I've had a regular.
It's sort of like that.
Many years since I've had I've been an independent contractor for so many years that it's been this way.
I'm a salaried employee. Raises usually come along once a year.
Oh, it is once a year. Okay.
And bonuses come along once a year.
Usually.
Okay.
Usually, not always.
Okay.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm not on a contract. Troy's not on a contract.
Travis got very excited because he told me before the show, Tony asked for his number, and Travis goes, oh, I guess somebody has acknowledged my talent as well. Somebody's figured out that the Travis dog has something to offer. Yes, Tony, what does Jim want for breakfast?
The best part is I don't even know his last name aside from Teft.
That's all you need. TEFFT.
That's it. Teft.
And I hope this week you're picking up the couch.
We'll talk about
All right,
it.
good. I'm dying to know because I want 2 Tefts in my home.
That's right. That's right. You can sing it to them as they're in your home.
Yeah.
So how much credit would you say? Sirius just put out an article about how much money they made this quarter.
Right.
Was it a good article?
A great article.
Great article.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. The company did extremely well this
Check
last
stock.
quarter. How much of that was ours? Most?
I'd 70, 80%.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
that was
even
part
a
of
little
our,
higher than I thought.
It gave us a little stronger position in negotiating.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's
Excellent.
see. All right.
What?
Stock.
Well, don't worry about
The
that.
market has been shitty, though.
Exactly.
The market's been very bad.
One of the things we were trying to figure out, like, what to do for a gift. Obviously, alcohol was off the table for both of you, so that took a lot of our ideas off. But then we said we should get you the Apple Genius.
Just get him an appointment at the Genius Bar.
Just get a guy like on call all the time.
I discovered the Chip podcast was not on Spotify. I had to call Riotcast and go, what the fuck's going on? And they fixed it.
Good.
But I understand it's also going to be played on this platform. We just don't know when.
Platform is what it would be called.
Yes.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, on the SiriusXM platform. It's going to be a week later, I believe. The Chip podcast is going to now air on SiriusXM.
That's very exciting. I'm assuming on this channel?
I don't know. Wherever they want. I don't care.
You know, that's a great question. I assume it's going to be on this channel. I think it's going to be on this channel on the weekends, but it's going to be so weekday because it comes out Sundays, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so a week delay Sunday, I think it's going to air on this channel. But Jim McClure might know.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be on Raw Dog too.
Jim Myers demanded it. Him and Scott, the top brass, are all Chip fans.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I'm not sharing trade secrets, but it is amazing how much time and energy was spent on Chip Chipperson when it came to our negotiations. I literally was saying sometimes to the business affairs guys, I can't believe we're saying Chip Chipperson as a real person, and how much. And literally, both sides were digging in over Chip Chipperson and the podcast and the delay and all of this. But it's just like I would call up Jim. I'm like, do you realize how much energy Chip Chipperson is sucking from my life right now?
The fact that Jim Myers, who runs this, and has to hear the name Chip Chipperson. Do you know how happy that made Scott and fucking Andrew Moss and all the head lawyers have to deal with Chip Chipperson?
When we were coming in September and sounding frustrated about this whole thing, and I was saying, we'll tell you what the slowdown is, but you're not going to believe this. Chip Chipperson was slowing down both of our lives.
Chip Chipperson was the holdup was Chip. It was.
I don't think we would have had to end up signing 3 weeks worth of extensions or 4 weeks worth of extensions or whatever it was, if not for Chip Chipperson.
Because what happened was, and again, I'll be vague about it, but you know, Riotcast does Chip, and they let me do it. Chip here, they didn't have to let me do Chip. They let me do it on a handshake contract. Yeah, go ahead, do it in the middle of a contract. Mm-hmm. They were cool about it here, and they could have said no because the way certain things are structured. So then, when the contract is up, now I have to kind of get permission to do it. So it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it becomes a thing.
And
Chip held us both up.
Chip wants breakfast every day too.
Of course he does.
I do. Yeah, delivered with fucking respect.
Yeah.
The fact that
probably wants bikini chicks to bring it to him.
Dude, there was one point, I'll tell you this. Gary was actually very helpful. Gary Schoenwetter I know a long time, and we have a good relationship. Yeah, sure. Gary's been a part of the channel, and you know, and he's moved up. You know, I mean, it's like
he's a high profile figure around here.
Dude,
now.
you can't just. It's like fucking with the intern who then becomes your boss.
Yep.
Like you never know who you're fucking with.
Right.
And we always got along with Gary. Other people didn't, but we always did.
Yes.
And now Gary is one of the guys you have to fucking deal with on contract level.
Yeah.
Gary doesn't. Gary is way high up.
Right. Thank God. No matter what was happening on the air, we were always cool with him. And I mean, he's a good guy.
We were always friends with Gary, and so I knew that talking to him, he and I had one conversation where I just called him, and we were on opposite ends of this, but we, again, it was a friendly. There was no anger. I know the guy. So at one point we were talking about Chip, and I was so frustrated. I'm like, I'll stop doing the podcast. I'm like, Gary, I'll just stop doing the fucking podcast. And he said to me, he goes, well, it might be a deal breaker. He goes, because Jim Myers wants Chip Chipperson.
No. He didn't say that.
He said they want Chip. It was literally the greatest moment and the most humiliating moment of my career that they were willing to let me walk over Chip.
It might be a deal breaker.
They were willing to let Jim and Sam go down the toilet over Chip.
Yeah.
I kind of want to hug Gary for saying that because it was one of the best and worst moments of my professional life.
You're absolutely right, because we were literally like 95% through it, and we were like saying, all right, well, so then Chip will just stop podcasting. And Andrew said, I think the deal's off.
Yeah, they wanted Chip.
I would have loved to hear that phone call from Tony. Sam, we've reached a real slowdown here. We're going to try to figure something out for you. It's not looking good, though. They need Chip, and it's become a deal breaker. What?
Yeah, so this is going to be Chip's year. I can sense it.
Really? Well, it's definitely not going to be
2019. No, it's not going to be Jim Norton's year. But literally, my whole fucking professional life was held up by that asshole alter ego.
Isn't it amazing? So, yeah, and you know what?
He knows it.
You know what's even worse? So was mine.
Yeah, the whole thing was. I mean, a lot of times I don't even share how ugly or just like frustrating it was getting. So it was better just not to give you the play-by-play.
Yeah. No. I'm glad. I was like, wait. I've always had a kind of love-hate thing. This would really shift it in a certain direction.
I like to know what's going on. Like I like to be kind of kept abreast of what's going on, even though I know it's a mess. It's a mess early. Like I know that.
Right. Yeah, but guess what? If AJ Poopy Shits was holding up the deal, Tony would probably keep that information from you because it probably wouldn't land well with you.
Yeah, it would not if AJ Poopy Shits was holding
which is on the level of what went on here.
The whole thing was held up by Chip. That was what it was.
I love it.
It was crazy.
In hindsight, now that all's well that ends well, I absolutely adore that that's what happened.
Yeah, but I'm afraid that that's going to be brought up on the podcast, and that's going to be
You think that Chip is going to start taking
humiliate
shots
Jim.
at Jim?
Humiliate him.
I believe that will happen too.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Tony. Good job. I'm going to peruse the contract during the break. I'll look at it.
All right.
Wait,
So
you
you're
mean
doing
the one I sent you to look
Yeah,
at?
I know.
over
I
the
was mentally lazy, but I'm in faith in your judgment.
I love that. I'm doing my due diligence. During the break, I'll have time to peruse it. And
Yeah.
I'll give you the old sign ski.
We stayed pretty in close touch about certain things, and I feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, we try not to overshare just because it's all negotiation, and you don't want someone be disappointed that you're working on something. What you don't get, what you do get. We got a lot. We got a lot here, and we kept you abreast along the way. But you were really good. I mean, you'd been through this process. You knew what to expect. I was obviously concerned for you just because having not had an agent do this before, you just don't know what to expect. And you were great. Yeah, and you were patient, and you were great, and you asked all the right questions.
I was very strategic. I sent Tony a photo of my action figure collection, but I waited until the contracts were completely done. I familiarized him with that side of myself, but waited until everything was done because you know what? There's a slight chance he may not have taken me seriously as a client if he had known going in.
No,
To see you at a bunch of shirtless men dolls? No, why would he?
There's actually, I think I told you there's a good chance that I might not have signed you had I seen that photo beforehand. That was honestly shocking and alarming at many levels to see that.
Yeah, it's really creepy and OCD. There's a lot to Sam. You'll get to know that he seems like he's just a regular dude, but he really is a fucking man-child creep with something dark in his past.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I had a girl telling me she's convinced you've been molested.
Who said that?
Just a friend of mine. She's convinced you've been molested.
Well, how would she know anyway?
Your food choices.
Oh.
She's like, that's very common. People who've been molested and only eat childish food.
But it might just be a coincidence, you know?
It could be.
And you've never had a drink. That's a little weird.
No, but neither is our great president.
All right, so that doesn't make it any better.
Okay.
Have you never drank at all?
No.
Oh, you never tried beer?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I want to see Sam drunk once.
No.
Oh my God, would that be great?
You know I'm an obsessive person.
I know.
So it's either all in
Yeah.
or all out.
To see your life spoiled by alcohol.
Do you understand? Like everything has been set up. Like I spent 35 years just delicately setting everything up so perfectly, paying attention to every detail. Everything is set up properly. Just in an instant, watching it all spiral. Just fucked it all up.
You know, it's so good because we actually spent a lot of time and energy on the morals and terminations. And so we get into this whole part about, alcohol and drugs. And thankfully for you, which is such a pleasure as an agent, like you two, we don't have to worry about in many ways. But like all I can think about is if you decided to have that one sip, this is why we need all this stuff in the contract.
Right. Just the spiral. Troy, you want to see the spiral too? I saw you.
God, yeah. I've tried
you
to
like
get
to
you
see
high
Sam
many
drunk?
times. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried to get him high so many times. Just doesn't
High
work.
wouldn't be as bad.
He tries to get me to do. Troy does try to get me to do drugs a lot.
That's bad.
He tells me they're cool. They're fun.
If
He's
you-
like,
they're not.
if
All the
you wanna
rappers do them.
Right. If you want to be cool like me, you got to smoke a little of this. He says that. But you know what I tell him?
I have a toy collection.
I say, wow. And I learned this from some of those. I say, I'm not a chicken. You're a turkey. And he goes, oh, nailed me.
That's a good, one.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
one.
yeah.
You should try pot once.
Yes.
No.
You think so?
No.
All right.
No.
You guys twisted my arm.
Please don't do this.
Do you have no desire to try it, or are you afraid you'd like it?
No, I have no desire.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Actually, of all the things you're going to try, that would be the one thing to try because it would just it would chill you out and
Even your agent's trying to get you high. How great is that?
No. No. Let me qualify this. I don't want you to do anything, but if you're going to do one thing,
But it's also why go to all the effort of smoking pot? You have to get the pot. You have to put it in the
I'll
thing.
get
You
the
have
pot.
to smoke it.
I'll put
you
it
can
in.
eat it.
You'll pack a bowl for him?
I'll pack it right up.
I don't want to. There's a smoke. I just do pills.
Why don't you vape?
Do you like chocolate chip cookies? You're gonna have a chocolate chip cookie.
I like. My mom already makes good chocolate chip cookies.
Tell her to
We're
put a little
fine.
pot in them. She's probably been doing it for years. You just don't know it. Your mother's been drugging your cookies since you were 8.
Yeah, that's why I'm so paranoid all the
Keep
time.
Sammy hooked.
Yeah.
Keep Sammy coming home.
She has it was Munchausen syndrome by proxy, except weed.
Yeah, she's putting drugs at your cookies.
Right, like the mom in The Sixth Sense. Just Drano and weed. Keep
She
Sammy
deserved it.
home.
That kid deserved it, that shit puppet show.
Misha Barton.
Oh, it was terrible.
Awful. Just vomit all over herself.
Well, good, Tony. I'm really happy.
Me too. So takeaway: we're not doing pot, we're not smoking, we're not drinking, we're not doing anything, right?
No.
Well, I'm going to sign the contract, and then
Yeah.
we're going to try. I mean, then it's a whole
Fuck
new
it,
Sam.
do what you want.
know?
I'm gonna relapse.
Fuck it, yeah. We got 3 years guaranteed. So
Yeah.
fuck it. You know,
Yeah,
let's do some
good.
crazy shit.
Yeah,
know?
you should read your contract a little more.
I trust you, Tony.
I know.
We're gonna go out and party. We gotta
Yeah.
celebrate. Let's do some fucking crazy shit, man.
Yeah. Within the confines of your termination clause, that's
Yeah.
fine.
And they said that we can't even be fired for screaming racial things in
That's right.
public.
That's
It's amazing.
that's not true.
Oh, is that a falsehood?
That's
Okay.
also not in the contract.
I tried to have that put in. We could scream whatever we want on the corner and they can't fire us.
Right.